Today's the first day for a major campus election. We tell you how to vote.
And later, buses to Coral Ridge Mall are becoming more student-friendly.
We met with the Iowa football team yesterday to hear their first impressions of how this season's spring practices are going.
And a short preview for World Cup coming to Iowa City.
The day will have some sunshine, but sadly it won't last. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up.
Stay right where you are because DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Lauren Burrell.
And I'm Sydney Zatz.
Today is the University of Iowa student government elections. And soon we will know who's the next year's representatives will be. To vote, you can log on to My UI, go to student information, and then click on My Vote. The polls online will remain open until 5 p.m. tomorrow. This comes after several busy weeks of campaigning for the tickets. Events included the vice presidential debate last Thursday and the presidential debate on Sunday. Stay updated with DITV for all the UISG election news.
We have an update on the Pedestrian mall shooter. Lamar Wilson, found guilty of voluntary manslaughter, will not be cleared of the shooting by Iowa's new Stand Your Ground law. Johnson County Judge Paul Miller rules the law is too vague to clear Wilson. The law states a person can be immune from legal liability if they acted in self-defense. In August of last year, Wilson shot and killed 22-year-old Khalik Jones and injured 2 others.
The Iowa gubernatorial race is in full swing, and we have DITV News' Bo Bowman with news on the candidate knocked off the ballot.
Now today we planned on airing the second installment of Know Your Candidate, featuring the former mayor of Cedar Rapids, Ron Corbett, but as of yesterday, Corbett's name has been officially taken off the ballot. A panel at the Iowa State Capitol in Des Moines reviewed Corbett's paperwork filed to run for governor and found that dozens of signatures should not have counted. Candidates need 4,005 signatures to get on the ballot for governor. Corbett's campaign fell 8 votes shy after a panel review. That included 8 signatures that were crossed off the list from the petition the campaign turned in. Corbett's team argued the campaign had crossed off the signatures in an attempt to help with the count before turning in the petition. It argued that the signatures were still valid without the crossout and should be allowed, which would have given Corbett exactly 4,005 signatures. But Secretary of State Paul Pate and State Auditor Mary Mosselman pointed to the state law that names crossed off for any reason should not be counted. Pate and Mosselman argued it could not be clear who crossed off their names, arguing their signer could have had a regret. With Corbett now officially off the ballot, Governor Reynolds no longer has an opponent for the primaries in June. Guys at the desk, back to you.
Thanks, Bo. Baton Rouge police officers will not be charged for the death of Alton Sterling. Sterling died in 2016 after 2 police officers opened fire on him during a confrontation outside a convenience store. The killing shocked the nation as bystanders recorded the 2 police officers shooting Sterling on video. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Laundrie determined the officers' decision to shoot Sterling was justified. The officers now wait to see if they will face disciplinary action.
5 locations in Iowa have now been approved to carry cannabis oil. The Iowa Department of Public Health has been awarded medical marijuana licenses to several Iowa cities. Dispensaries are permitted in Council Bluffs, Sioux City, Windsor Heights, outside Des Moines, Waterloo, and Davenport. Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, and Coralville are eligible to receive a license but were turned down. As part of the Iowa medical marijuana program, dispensaries can only sell cannabis oil. Nothing smokable, no baked goods will be available to purchase.
A local team will be competing as the first hijabi Miss Iowa in the National American Miss Pageant. Jefferson High School senior Nadine Kadora will compete while wearing a hijab. A hijab is a traditional headscarf worn by women of the Muslim faith. Kadora says she wants to prove not all women wearing hijabs suffer from oppression. She's set to compete in Omaha, Nebraska in early June. Speaking of local teens, Iowa City students are protesting for a social justice class. They spoke with the Iowa City School Board, with the school board saying the earliest it will happen is the fall of 2019. Some students have been fighting for this class for over a year and a half. The school board in the past have denied these students' requests. Two reasons include not enough interest and a lack of money. Stick with DITV as we'll keep you updated on this story. Lauren, this morning there's frost on my windshield and there's a bunch of snow on the ground. I thought we were done with all this.
I know, I was very disappointed in Mother Nature this week. Let's toss it over to Sam with more.
Yeah, sadly, it doesn't look like it's going to get much better. We're starting out the day with some sunshine at a crisp 53 degrees this morning and a nice surprise from these dreary clouds we've been experiencing all week. But it won't last for long, as tonight there's a 40% chance of rain with temperatures reaching a low of 35 degrees. Looking at our extended forecast, to get ready, expect more mild temperatures and those gloomy clouds. On Thursday, that 40% chance of rain is still persisting with the possibility of snow, but temperatures reaching a high of 48 degrees. As the day continues, those clouds will still be around as we reach a low of 28 degrees. Thursday night, moving on to Friday, it's expected to be the warmest day of the week, reaching a high of 53 degrees and mostly sunny with a low of 28 degrees in the evening. Then a slight turn for Saturday morning, as there's a chance of light snow and a 40% chance of rain, with temperatures reaching a possible high of 50 degrees. And later that night, we'll reach our lowest temperature of the week at 23 degrees. Then to round out the weekend, as we enter into April, expect mostly sunny skies at a high of 41, but once again in the evening, our temperature drops down to a low of 28 degrees with slight clouds. Then to start the week on Monday, there's a slight 20% chance of rain, but mostly sunny with a high of 48 degrees, reaching a low of 30 in the evening. So even if we don't have sunshine here, we still have our lovely anchors to brighten up your day. Have a great Wednesday, and back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sam. Students from the University of Iowa traveled Tuesday to the state legislature for Hawkeye caucus. It provides them the opportunity to voice concerns to politicians regarding issues in the University of Iowa community. Students advocate for minimizing budget cuts, passing a statewide medical amnesty law, and discussing sexual assault legislation. They believe that calling for these changes will help increase the value of education and to make the UI community a safer place.
For students who don't have cars, it has always been difficult to find a way to visit the Coral Ridge Mall, but the University of Iowa student government has found a solution to this problem. DITV news reporter Jinyuk Kim tells you about the new service being offered.
Coral Ridge Mall, a place where you can do various things like shopping, eating, skating, and even watching movies. Nevertheless, the mall is quite far for few students who don't have a personal vehicle.
I can see how it would be a benefit to shop in Coralville rather than downtown Iowa City.
In response to this, University of Iowa student government is trying to help students who are concerned with the issue. UISG is partnering with Corbett Transit to provide free bus ride service for UI students to get to Coral Ridge Mall.
It saves money for students. It also gives them a way to get out of the general Iowa City area and gets them to the Coral Ridge Mall.
They support free rides on Thursday and Friday nights to and from Coral Ridge Mall in Coralville.
This is the location you can take a free bus. It is just around the Pentacrest.
The first bus from Washington and Clinton bus stop departs from 6:10 p.m. and the service continues until 11:20 p.m. From Coral Ridge Mall, you can take free bus from about 6:40 p.m. and until around 11:50 p.m. Students have to bring their IDs to use the service. UISG adds that the service is not only good for students, but also for businesses in Coral Ridge Mall.
They're able to get new customers that they might not otherwise have gotten.
Just remember Thursday, Friday, your ID and this location. And it is free for students. Reporting from the Washington and Clinton bus stop, this is Jinyuk Kim of DITV News.
Lauren, I am missing football season, but we have our spring game coming soon.
I know, me too. Football is soon to be back, apparently. Let's toss it over to Natalie and Delaney in the sports studio with more.
That's right, football is back. Spring practices started earlier this month, and Iowa football has been taking full advantage of the time provided before the season starts.
And all eyes this year will be on the offense. After a disappointing 2017 campaign, the offense needs to score more points to keep them in the games. The team spoke to the media yesterday where they addressed where the area of improvement is most important.
Conceptually, it's obviously come a lot easier, with a year under my belt, and for a lot of guys, it's come a lot easier for everybody. We're able to move a little bit quicker on the field just because you're not having to think about everything. It's more so a reaction than a long thought process on the field.
He's improved a lot. I feel like each time he steps on the field, he's getting better. He realizes that it's a working process for our whole team, and I feel like he does a really good job with that. As far as physical attributes, he's gotten bigger. He weighs the same amount as I do, and he plays quarterback. So that's pretty impressive. And he's a big body back there, and he's a great leader for our team. So.
The Hawks will host the spring game on Friday, April 20th inside Kinnick Stadium.
You may have thought wrestling season was over, but think again.
Carver Hawkeye Arena will host the biggest wrestling event in the world when the UWW World Cup comes to town on April 7th and 8th.
Team USA will take on the best talent the rest of the world has to offer, and one former Hawkeye found himself right in the middle of the mix.
Iowa head coach Terry Brands and former Iowa wrestler Thomas Gilman met with the media yesterday to talk about how the impact of the event.
International wrestling is awesome because you have a chance to display your abilities and talents on the wrestling mat for the entire world to see. It's the pinnacle. It's something that true competitors want to do. They want to be a part of that, and they want to put their skills on display and put their skills and abilities on the test against the very best in the world. And as a competitor or a true competitor, that's what you want. You want the best competition every chance you get, and that's what this thing is going to offer.
I mean, that's kind of a silly question. How important is it? I mean, it's everything. It's everything, especially coming up short at the World Championships. Silver does not sit well. When you're getting congratulated for getting second best or first loser, that doesn't really sit very well. Getting congratulated with a gold around your neck, that'd feel pretty dang good. So how much does it mean? It means everything.
Like we mentioned before, that event will take place on April 7th and 8th at Carver Hawkeye Arena, where hopefully the Team USA will be able to defend their championship from 2017.
Last night, the softball team hosted a doubleheader against UW Green Bay. The Hawks won both games to improve their record to 15-13. Here's what they had to say following the win.
The team will be back in action tonight as they take on the Drake Bulldogs at 5 p.m.
That's all we have today in the sports studio.
Come back tomorrow to take a look at Iowa's baseball game against Bradley happening this afternoon at Dwayne Bakes Field at 4 p.m.
Guys at the desk, back to you.
Iowa's first quarter rave is back making headlines. The UI tradition will be featured at the Hartsville Farm in Donaldson, Iowa next fall.
Around a 75-mile drive from Kinnick Stadium, the 10-acre maze will be in the shape of the wave. The owners of the farm plan to donate $1 from every admission to the UI Children's Hospital. It will happen after every home football game in September and October. And Lauren, that is probably my favorite part of the football games. That is an awesome thing to see. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning edition of DITV.
Make sure to head over to thedailyiowanTV.com for all the latest news between Monday and Friday.
If that is enough of the Daily Island for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now.
For DITV, I'm Lauren Varell.
And I'm Sydney Zatz. Have a great Wednesday, Iowa City.